Hi, this is Matthew to talk about another kind of different radio spectrum called Longwave. Isn't used as much here in North America, but we do use it some. For the sake of simplicity, it's around 3 kilohertz to about 500 kilohertz, basically. So it's a big spectrum. There's all kinds of different things that broadcast there. Directional beacons, you've got the transmitter in Sweden that is 17.2 called SAQ. It only comes up on Christmas Eve, I know, and I think there's one other time. I don't remember when it is. I've never, of course, caught it. And it's always like early in the morning here. So, but they have a YouTube channel. Just look up SAQ Sweden, and you'll find their page, or you might just put SAQ into YouTube. Even it should pop up. But that aside, here it's only like directional beacons and Morse code. Some airports did use it. We do use it to communicate with submarines at sea below 30 kilohertz, I believe. WWV, who has a time signal on shortwave, has a WWV-B, which broadcasts at 60 kilohertz. I've never caught it. I have some shortwave radios that will pick that up. Most only give the broadcast spectrum that's in Europe, which is I think about 143 to I think 283, something like that. Very few stations there now, sadly. BBC Radio 4 is there. There's one in Albania. There's one in Mongolia I've never heard. The only way I can hear these is to use a software-defined radio. My favorite is the one in U20. Just look up, just look up WebSDR. That should pull that one up. It's huge. It has an incredible antenna. There's a radio club at the University of U20. And yeah, it's like ridiculous how well it receives stuff. It's fun to play with at all times of day. Especially in the wintertime in Europe, you can get all kinds of great AM from not so much UK anymore or Dutch stuff, but there's stuff from Spain and I think some stuff out of Russia and Ukraine. There are some Indian South Asian stations in the UK you can get. Spain is huge at night. You can hear it very well in the Netherlands. A handful of UK stations are there, not much, unfortunately, in the AM band. That's not quite where I'm at, but I do listen to some of the things there. I know Poland's there, and the Longwave band is in the UK. Algeria has a couple. So does, as I said, Albania or Mongolia. Morocco, has a couple. Very few left. So many have closed. I know the UK is going to close theirs for Radio 4. We're supposed to be in June, but I think they may extend it. They're also they have a way for the switch some meters to use it to get their readings and stuff. I don't think quite everybody switched to those smart meters yet, so it may go on a little longer, but I think it's the end of June. They haven't said it's going to be extended as of this video. It might be. Very few things down there, which you can hear these things for like these stations for broadcast basically well over 1,000 miles away from the signal. And I just think, what if we could have used that spectrum too? It's only ITU Region 2 uses it, which is Europe and Northern Africa and Mongolia. So most of the world doesn't have it. But I just think how well some of our stations would have been, some of our big stations on AM could have been over there, or some kind of a network of like, I don't know, NPR or somebody could have used it to just go forever and cover like a good chunk of the country. Would have just been amazing. You be here and I could have gotten something in like California or something, probably not as much in the day. You can. There is a nighttime skywave component like shortwave and AM have. which that works good too on those software-defined radios I've talked about a little bit. But you can still hear some stuff in the day. Like I know sometimes like UK always works. I think Poland's usually audible all day. Morocco is better at night, but you can hear it. Albania, I know they've got one that covers a big region of the country. There's a lot of remote mountain areas that just, I think nothing else really covers very well. So some of those might, like in Morocco and Albania and maybe Poland, might stick around a little longer. UK probably won't. There's Netherlands was there. Not Netherlands, but Denmark was there. They closed theirs. Russia had a bunch. They closed theirs down. No, it's not Morocco. It's Algeria. I'm sorry. There's not one in Morocco. It's in Algeria. Yeah, they have a couple. Morocco doesn't have anything that I know of. They might have at one point, but I know Algeria does. They come in. Ireland was there. They shut down. There's supposed to be a guy in, I think it's Norway. He's going to have a radio 252, which is where 252 is where Algeria is now, and where RTA Radio 1 used to be. Before that, it was called. Oh gosh, I lost the name. Was it Radio 2000? Oh God. There was a rock station there for Radio 252, I think. No, Atlantic 252, sorry. That was it. They played, like, I think, pop and stuff over there. And then, yeah, I think it was like a talk station for a second. Then RTE Radio 1 was there forever until just a couple of years ago. I heard it turn off. It was very sad. Just different things like that have been there and are there, but yeah, it's neat to listen to just because the signals are just so big when you can get them in, or they can be kind of faint like AM. It's just, yeah, it's fun. If you had another AM band, it would have been really neat to, been here, gotten something from like California or even maybe New York, just because the range they can go. And you get even lower, and you can talk to submarines, below 30 kilohertz and stuff. And atomic clocks can use it, and just, there are better technologies, but boy, it does work though. I think a lot of atomic clocks still use that WVB. Some may use the WWV shortwave, but most have the VB. Like I think my atomic clock watch that I have, or my atomic, they probably use the VB. I would imagine. I have an Apple Watch now, but I used to put it in the window at night, and it would check about 3 a.m. and make sure it had the right time and stuff. And we'll check for time changes and stuff. It's pretty cool. I hope it's still functioning. I haven't used it in a few months. But there's all kinds of neat things down there. Some people can use it for experimental stuff, like hams can use it for experimental things. There are some guys that, and it's a beacon, just sends the Morse code. I think it just sends their call out. I don't know if it says where they're from. I think mostly it's just the call sign, I think, of the station. I don't know what else they could send. I think it's about it. I don't know. Basically, you can know where something is, basically. It would give you something to lock on to, signal-wise, especially for the airports. Back in the day when you didn't have GPSs and stuff, and you could use that to find the airport you wanted. So there's a way you could kind of know where you were. But yeah, it's a neat spectrum. I do like some of the broadcast stuff there. There's a guy following the UK. It's his favorite band. He's probably, because he may be in his 50s. I'm not quite sure how old that guy is, but yeah, it's just a neat little spectrum. It's hard to talk about just because I don't have access to it without having to use the internet to hear it. But I do like what I have heard on there. Yeah, I used to really like going to 252 to hear Ireland, and I do like hearing 198 on Radio 4s until it dies, basically. I know they're old transmitters. I know they say that they are energy hungry and stuff, but the distance they can cover is amazing. You can, I mean, you're hearing the BBC into the Netherlands. I mean, I know they're close by geographically, but that's quite a distance. You know, and you're hearing Poland and Albania from there, and you can hear Algeria mostly at night, sometimes in the day, mostly at night. Ireland was always good when it was on, and there was a Luxembourg one that was always audible. It's gone. It was in French. And yeah, the Albanian one, oh my god, the Albanians, but the Algeria one is in French. I think there's an Arabic one still. I don't know if it's still open. I know the French one is definitely heard in the Netherlands. I think there's an Arabic one too. Lower down, I forget where it's at. But yeah, there's neat stuff like that on there. You can hear some interesting music maybe from other countries you might not have heard. Poland's kind of interesting, and sometimes the Albanian stuff is, but I know Poland for sure, I think, has some English music also on it. I forget what network they're using. Yeah, they're big. Yeah, they're not like local stations on these are big like networks that cover, cover a whole country domestically and otherwise on these. It would have been cool if we could have had like NBC and stuff on there for radio back in the day, or other big stations like that could have been heard for miles and miles and miles and miles and miles all over the country for at least a good chunk of it, or even whole regions of the country at least could have heard it. Yeah, it's an interesting little band out there. If you want to get a shortwave radio, look, maybe see if it has longwave, especially if you're in Europe, or you just want to just me see, can I just get anything at all? Can I hear anything down here? Mostly, usually I can't, but I have heard some Morse code somethings. In the early 2000s, I heard a few when I first got one. I don't know if maybe we don't have anything down there anymore, or just I don't have a big enough antenna. Again, it needs to be for that kind of stuff, it needs to be a pretty quiet environment. But obviously, if you're in Europe or something, it's going to be better on the broadcast part of it. It's not quite as necessary, but there isn't much to hear here. You have to kind of really be in a place with no noise. You might be able to catch a little bit of something faintly, or if you're closer to the ocean, Atlantic-wise, it might be a little better, but give it a try if you haven't been down there in a while, or look for any SDRs or software-defined radios. They pretty much all online have that band available. Some are narrow, but most have just, basically 0 to 30 kilohertz. So that whole range, AM, FM, shortwave, it's all there. I wish someone opened them up further up the band, but most seem to not. They get a thing that converts it down to that spectrum, because I don't think they come that way, but some might. I don't know, but yeah, it's an interesting little slice of radio frequency space. Longwave or LW. You might see LW also, but yeah, just thought I would talk about it a little bit. I find it interesting what's there. As much of it is there I know it's a dying band, but it's still kind of interesting. Even if I have to hear it from afar, it's still an interesting thing to, hear. But I think that'll do it for now for this one. I will see you guys in another video.